Tonight comes from Mr. C. Thank you, Mr. C. Father Simon and the Forgiving Collective, my tale goes back a number of years and I feel it's now time to unburden my guilt. To start this tale, I need to mention that I have been a stressed-out single parent for many years and have so far successfully brought up my daughter since the age of 2, single-handed, which is not bad. Over the years, to help me with the childcare versus working dilemma, I have employed au pairs. It's been a little bit hit and miss, but it's a good solution and it's worked well. Our favourite au pair, Camilla from Poland, had left to complete her teaching qualification, and I decided to take on a new au pair called Aurelia, who was from France. It was arranged that I would pick up Aurelia from Luton Airport, and being a sensible chap, I took a picture of her to the airport. My daughter and I, who was 7 at the time, waited nervously at arrivals for several women, and they passed, but none looked remotely like the woman in the picture. Then a lady smiled at us and she looked like the picture, except her hair was a little straighter. But anyway, I asked her if she was called Aurelia. Was she an au pair? She said yes, and she seemed pleased that we recognised her. We exchanged pleasantries in my useless French and her broken English as we helped her with her trolley. We got to the car and loaded her very heavy luggage into the boot. She got in the front, my daughter in the back, and off we went out of the car park and headed for home. I asked her moments later how I should pronounce her name, and she explained it was said Marilia, with more of an M sound than an A sound at the beginning. That was funny. That was odd. Anyway, note to self, must get that right. It's got a silent M there. Anyway, then my phone started ringing, and I stopped the car to take the call. There you go, Bobby, you'll like that bit. The call was from a French-sounding woman asking if I was held up because she was waiting for me in arrivals. I know you're ahead of me on all this. I must have sounded somewhat flustered as my brain tried to comprehend what was occurring. Aurelia was already sitting in the car next to me, and now another Aurelia, how common is that, was on the phone in arrivals. Who was this person in the passenger seat? Could be the start of a horror movie, but it's not. I politely ended the call by muttering about being a little late and started driving again, trying to work out what exactly was occurring. I stopped the car again and I said to the person beside me, this woman I'd picked up, I said, "What's your name?" She said, "Marilia." Again, trying to hide my obvious anxiety, I said, yes, I know, but what's your surname? And she came back with a surname that I did not recognise, and the penny inevitably dropped, as it has done for everyone else listening. I looked at her, and then I looked at my daughter on the back seat and thought, I have definitely picked up the wrong au pair. And I asked another question. So, are you an au pair? Yes, she says. What is the family name that you're expecting? Mr. Digby, she says. Right, well, I'm very sorry, you've got the wrong family. And I then quickly turned the car around and sped back to the airport. I tried to look calm and reassured the poor woman that all would be well in the end. We just needed to get back to the airport. My daughter was confused, but I explained that we just made a small mistake and we just needed to pop back to the airport and change her. Swap her over. We parked the car, and then I thought, I can't go back into the arrivals terminal. Just think of the embarrassment in front of the bewildered Digby family that our actual au pair would be wondering exactly what she got herself into. No, can't do that. So I asked Marilia if she had the number for the Digbys, and she said she did. So with that, we all rushed up the hill to the entrance. Marilia, I said, I'm very, very sorry, but I'll have to leave you here. Call Mr. Digby, and I'm sure he'll be with you very soon. Bye. And with that, I took my daughter's hand, dumped the luggage and the bewildered French au pair and marched up to meet our real new employee. On entering the arrivals, I noticed a very worried-looking lady who, funnily enough, looked exactly like the woman in the picture, complete with long curly hair of the right colour. I'm so sorry, I said. Traffic was awful. In fact, très bad, I said. That's very poor. Merci beaucoup, let's go. My daughter looked confused again. Aurelia, the real Aurelia, looked relieved, if not a little worried, about what she let herself in for, and off we went. On the way down the hill, we passed the original Aurelia, or Marilia, on her phone. Stood by the bus stop, on her own. I shooed my daughter straight past, deliberately making sport. Look over there. And talking to the real Aurelia so as not to give the game away. We got in the car and took our new au pair home, trying not to worry about what happened to the other woman that I dumped at the entrance. Father Simon, I seek forgiveness. You're not going to get it. From the collective for my error and accidental time that I had with this French citizen from the airport. The obvious trauma this must have inflicted on the unfortunate Marilia, although we heard through the au pair grapevine later that she had been safely picked up.
Yeah, right.
I apologise to the people of France and Luton, and to the Digby family, whoever they are, and my daughter, for any trauma that was caused by my getting it wrong, picking up the wrong au pair person. Anyway, young Joe.
It was almost like Colin Firth from Love Actually was in the studio with us as he was telling that tale for a little bit. It's one of my favourite scenes from Love Actually.
Except I'm not going to speak any Portuguese.
No, okay. To forgive or not to forgive. Ditching Morelia in such a way I think is kind of unforgivable, really. Easy mistake to make, possibly, if you're looking at a very terrible photograph, but just to ditch her when you realise you got the wrong one.
Leave her at the bus stop.
Yeah, you can't do that. Should have found the Digby's, handed her over, and then moved on.
I know what Bobby's going to say, but let's check it out anyway. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, it sounds like Mr. C is trying to say, no au pairs were left abandoned in this story, where they actually were. So no matter how much you try and get out of it, obviously you're a lovely guy. You're single parent is tough. And, you're just dealing with all these women coming in. So I understand how the mistake was made. That's no problem. That's not your fault. But you should have handled it a bit differently. You could have rang the Digbys and said, I've got your woman in my car. I need to drop her off. Where are you? You could have just handled it so much better. You're bringing up a daughter. She needs an example. So I think, Mr. C, you need to take an example from your little one, because I think your 7-year-old will probably do better. So with Joe, you are unforgiven. Although I love you, really.
Absolutely.